Hello there, boys and girls. This is your fearless leader, Johnny. And this is just a quick introductory message to you to try to figure out what we're going to do for the rest of the term. It's still a little bit up in the air, but I have some ideas about how we can proceed. So today is Friday. I think it's the 27th of March. And classes start next week, the week of March 30th. And I'm thinking that in order to keep things more organized and keep my head straight anyway, if not yours, maybe the best thing to do would be to sort of pretend that we are still meeting on Thursdays. That way I'll have a target date for giving you content every week. And even though we're not meeting live, we can sort of, pretend that we are getting our class content at the same time that we normally would have had our live classes. So I intend to use this format, screencasting from my computer, and hopefully that will work for us. The other thing is, by keeping it asynchronous, you can access this whenever you want, and you can work on stuff whenever you want, and you can get back to me about questions whenever you want, so that we will, have that advantage of not actually meeting live. Even just getting 5 people together sometimes at the same time can be a problem. So this way, you won't have to sort of rearrange whatever it is you're doing, your schedules. I don't know what in the world your schedules are like during this emergency, but that way you can look at the video whenever you have the chance. If you're taking care of the kids and you're, doing this, that, and the other, you can wait until you have some free time, some alone time, where you can concentrate on stuff and get some work done and listen to all the pearls of wisdom that I will be sending you. So that is my idea. And as far as the actual schedule of things, of course we have a little bit less time than I originally had thought. I have somewhere here I have my calendar application on my Mac. So you can see the red dot here. Today is the 27th of March, and technically our first class would have been on, coming back, if we were meeting live, would have been on April 2nd. So I'm thinking that maybe that's a target date for me to get you content. So I'll be zeroing in on each Thursday as the days when I send you stuff. So anticipate that will be the case. So on the 2nd, the 9th then is the next week, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th. So actually we have 5 weeks in April, which is unusual because it's a short week, or short month, but we start right after the 1st. So we have 5 weeks where we can get stuff done in April. And then I think the term ends on the 14th. So we could get some content in on the 7th, and then on the 14th would just be a day where you guys can send me your final version of things. So, that still gives us a fair amount of time. Right now, my plan is to go back over some of the basic stuff we talked about with standard responsive design, concentrating especially on media queries. I feel like this is probably a good idea because it's actually going to be quite some time. By the time next week gets around, it'll be, for some of you, might be a month since you've really sat down and thought about this stuff. And from my own experience, I know when I'm starting to learn something, if I'm off for a month and haven't really done much, a lot of that stuff just flies right out of my head. So right now I'm in the process of putting together a video that will go back over the highlights of what we did with our what I call standard responsive design, just the basics, using float and clear method to create our columns and using media queries to change the layout of our pages depending upon the width of the browser window. And I think what I'll do is pick out one of the examples that we've already used so that you might have those files at your fingertips, or at least you can remember what we did. I think maybe I'll try, maybe I'll use the Swiss Alps page and go back over that page. I'm not going to go back from the very beginning where we start from absolute scratch and build up the static pages. So maybe I'll start from, a fully designed static fixed width version of the Swiss Alps page. And then I'll go through, I'll go back and review how we got to that point, but I'm not going to go through it laboriously and put it together piece by piece. And then from that point, I'll go through and show you how I might attack a page like that and try to convert it into responsiveness. So I think that would be a good way to, get our minds back in the game. I noticed the last time that we were looking at your mini projects that some of you guys were still having some serious problems with the media queries. You really seemed to be a little confused. You were having trouble getting them to work properly. And I know when you first start out that it's a, kind of a strange thing to do, to have to create, multiple versions of your different cascading style sheet rules and organize them in a way that where everything works seamlessly. It takes practice and it takes some doing. So I'll go back over with an emphasis on that stuff, on the media query construction in particular, so that hopefully you can get that straight in your mind. I think that, understanding media queries is really one of the absolute fundamental basic notions that I'd like to get across in the course. In fact, I was just thinking, if it came to, if I had the choice of either, having someone, know a decent amount about the CSS grid, which I think is terrific, or, know a lot about media queries, I think I would probably, if it was an either or proposition, I'd probably have to choose media queries, because that's really the basis for all the different types of responsiveness. Because even with Flexbox and CSS Grid, there are times when we have to use media queries. They work in conjunction with a lot of different approaches to page layout. So, that is pretty fundamental. So I'd like to concentrate on that. And then, because we're only meeting once a week, I think that maybe I could create a second video that tried to get us a little further with Flexbox. I'm not sure whether we need to spend the week after this exclusively on Flexbox or not. If we look at the calendar, do we want to spend the entire instructional time talking about Flexbox, or would going back over Flexbox along with a video on getting us back up to speed with standard responsive techniques. I wonder if that would be enough. Because I would like to concentrate as much time as possible on CSS Grid. Flexbox is terrific, but it's superseded in a number of different situations by CSS Grid. If all we had was standard responsive design and Flexbox, then definitely, we'd want to become absolute, total, ninja gurus with Flexbox. But to be honest, my use of Flexbox has really been pretty limited. I like to focus Flexbox on those individual sort of modular components of a web page where it really comes in handy for alignment purposes. We can go through a number of different exercises where we use Flexbox to create entire web pages, etc. But to be honest, I don't think, now that the grid is here and in full force, I don't think people are going to be using the Flexbox approach for an entire page. I think it's probably best used for footer areas, for the navigation, for sidebar issues, for some of your card container elements, and trying to tame those things. In the individual smaller components within a page, oftentimes the vertical and the horizontal alignment problems there can be solved really quickly, but sometimes by simply adding display flex to the parent container. Sometimes it's just a snap of the fingers, and all of a sudden, you may have to use it, justify content and align items, set them both to center or whatever, and bingo, you've got a real nice centering situation that would have been really difficult to do in any other way. Even CSS Grid, I think, would be overkill to use on some of those modular components. So Flexbox is cool, but I think the emphasis that I was putting on it when it first came out, and that other people were, has kind of receded a little bit. I've seen a lot of videos when it first came out talking about using it full blast on every part of the page, including the page itself. But nowadays, I don't really see that much anymore. I see people using it, for the header, for the nav bar, for the footer area, for small areas that you're just having intransigent problems with some sort of vertical or horizontal alignment. So all that means that maybe, I don't know, it's up to you guys. You can give me some feedback. Maybe if I do a video talking about the standard responsive techniques and summing them up, and then another one on, where I think Flexbox is most useful, maybe we can consider both of those as part of the content for April 2nd. Then we could spend the 9th, 16th, and 23rd talking about CSS Grid, which I think, like I say, is probably, more powerful and is going to be more important and more pervasive when it comes to putting a page together. Then that would still leave us the 30th and the 7th, the 30th of April and the 7th of May, to either do some more CSS Grid, or we could do, as I mentioned earlier in the term, we could spend a little bit of time with PHP. So again, we could talk about that and see what you guys want to do. But anyway, that's my plan. As of this moment, I've been putting a lot of content together for my beginning class, because of course we're doing online there. I've been meeting twice a week, so I'm trying to keep to the same schedule where I do a video cast every Monday and Wednesday for my beginning class. And then I'm going to have to, for those guys, I'm going to create a feedback video because I have a number of students in there, and I'm assigning them homeworks every week. So I am probably going to, besides the instructional videos that I do every week for them, I'm going to do a homework feedback video. So it's going to be a lot of videos. I'll certainly know the medium by the time I get done with this 6-week stretch here. But anyway, I hope this all works for you. And also, I want to give you a little bit more information. Originally, I thought that I would have to put my videos up on my YouTube channel. But a couple days ago, as I was experimenting with the videos for my Art 259 class, I realized that if I put the videos up on YouTube, I could funnel them extremely conveniently onto my WordPress blog. There seems to be almost a built-in funnel, or between the two. So I think maybe that would be cool, because that way, I was originally thinking I'd have to tell people, well, go to the web page and see what's happening generally and what the instructions are and what's going on, and then jump over to the YouTube channel to listen to the videos. But it looks like maybe I can do both on the web page. So hopefully that'll be good, because you won't have to jump around so much and get lost. And for those of you who, I know we haven't really used our web page much. I think I have it somewhere here. My Chrome. Yeah. Because we've had such a small class, every time I've thought of using the web page, I just ended up, telling you what was what right in class, and putting stuff on the L drive for anything that I wanted to distribute to you guys. So I haven't really done much with our web page, but it is here. And of course, I really don't like the D2L, so I really don't use that. So don't go up to D2L. It's there. It's functioning, but there's really nothing up there. I put the syllabus up there because they want me to do that, but otherwise I really don't use the D2L site. If we have our own site, I think that's better. So this is jpetrosh2.wordpress.com. We went up there, I'm sure, the first day of class anyway. And so the address should be in your syllabus. jpetrosh, petrosh2.wordpress.com. Art 267 Advanced Web Design. And you have this funny little picture of the Russian cigarette case from Fyodor Dostoevsky, one of my heroes. And so you can see, I did put a note up here back on the 19th that hopefully you guys saw. Classes begin on March 30th, blah, blah, blah. Not much information here, though, so I wanted to give you a little bit more information. But hopefully I'll be able to put the videos and any other written instructions or information or whatnot right inside of a blog post. And then you guys can respond to that. You see here, this little leave a comment. I want you guys to leave a comment or ask a question every week for the, on the post that has the video, just to let me know that, you're there, and this will be sort of like your attendance. So I'll mark you as present. But you've got to leave a comment for each of the videos that I send up to let me know that you're here and that you're active. And hopefully you're actually looking at the videos. That would be cool. And then other things, something else that I thought that might help. In the link from the 17th, links to interesting web developer sites on our 267 website, I have a link to CodePen, another very cool site where you can code online to your heart's content. And CodePen is very cool. And if you're serious about the web, you really ought to go to CodePen, and you ought to sign up and get a membership. Now, you don't have to pay. You can sign up for free, which is really cool. And the great thing about this is that, first of all, you can code. You can go up there, and it's sort of like a situation kind of like W3 schools, where they have a double pane inside their tutorials at certain points where you can put in the code in one pane and then see the HTML in the other pane, that kind of thing. So that's sort of like that, but on steroids. Just so many more cool things you can do in CodePen. The other cool thing is that there are thousands upon thousands of really, really good, cool developers who use CodePen, and a lot of them open up their code to be, taken by the likes of us who, maybe aren't as proficient. And you can search CodePen up here, and if you're looking for something in particular, you could probably find some really good code that's perfectly legal to just grab. You can copy and paste it and see if it works in your particular app or your web page. So it's pretty cool. I have a professional membership, which allows me to do some other cool things. If I click on my funny little face here and go to my dashboard, you can see that I have here a project called Oakton CC, which I just created a couple days ago. And inside here, I have subfolders for both Art 259 and Art 267. I'm not sure I'm going to show this to my 259 class. I'll mention it to them, but they probably have enough to worry about besides going up here. But you guys, I thought, this would be cool. I can put stuff up here. I can put my files. Even if I'm working on a file in Dreamweaver, I can save that file in Dreamweaver, and then I can upload it to CodePen so that I can play with it up here, and you guys can play with it too. And if you want, you can take the code that I've been playing with in the videos, and you can have all that and see it live and play with it and modify it and squeeze it and squish it and push it around. So you can see here that I have a code view. And down here in preview, you can actually, it's not necessarily hooked inexorably to the HTML file that you're looking at. Right now, I'm looking at Flexbox Learn Web Code.html, and this is the preview that I'm seeing of that same page, but I can actually click here, and I can look at another page. I can see the preview of another page. Here's my beginning of my Founding Fathers website that I'm working with in my 259 class, and some other pages that I put up there. So it's a little bit different than CodePen in that you can actually preview things that aren't necessarily up on the top. And go back to the one that we're talking about. So this page in particular is kind of cool because there's a number of different things here that Flexbox is doing that is very cool in terms of alignment. So this is something that I'll probably use when I do a little video spiel on Flexbox. But anyway, I think this is pretty neat. And so you guys can go up there, you can sign up for a free membership, and you can get a nice area of your own, not the sophisticated where you can bring up files. Yeah, I can bring up images and stuff too, which is really cool. So I've got Tom Paine here. I've got in my Art 259 folder, I've got a whole folder of images here. So it's really fantastic. I think if you're interested in being able to do projects and more sophisticated stuff, I don't know what the cost is, but it's not too bad. I think I can't remember. I get an annual membership. Maybe it's like, I don't think it could be more than $200, something like that. Maybe it was. I don't know. You could probably pay by the month, and they may have different tiers of membership as well. I can't remember, but you can go up and onto the main CodePen page and click on the options for membership and find out. So anyway, it's a pretty cool place. So I will probably use that too. It's called CodePen, CodePen. And if you want to go to my CodePen, I don't know if you can see this. It's codepen.io/Shius, SHIUS/project. You could probably just get by just doing that, I imagine. Let me try going in here as if I were somebody else. Let me copy this whole address and I'll open up a browser I've never used for CodePen so that I don't think it knows who I am if I use Opera. So I'll go paste and go. See if that, yeah, so that goes right up there. This is the main visible page for my Oakton CC project. And then click on 267, then click on Flexbox to open it up, and then click on this guy, and then go over here and choose that particular page to preview, and you'll be able to see exactly what I've been seeing. So that's Shius, SHIUS/project/editor/D as in David, O as in Omar, those are capital letters, then small MAJ, and then capital B as in boy. So I'll put that somewhere. I'll put that on the website so that you have it, so that you know how to get up there. Or you could probably just go to CodePen, because this is not, I haven't privatized this or anything. So actually, you could probably just go to CodePen and just search for Oakton CC or John Petrocious, and you might be able to jump right in there. So I haven't shared this stuff with students before, so I'm not exactly sure how this works, but I think it should work cool. And you can put CSS, that you can have separate panes. So I've got everything all together in this page, but you can have a separate page for HTML, a separate window for CSS. You have a separate window for JavaScript. I'm not sure whether you can use back-end scripting. I think I don't know whether they can manage PHP. That would be very cool if they could do PHP, because I'm thinking if we have time at the end of the semester, as I've mentioned a couple times in the past, I would like to squeeze in a little introduction for you to PHP programming. So, but I don't know. That's pretty hard to do. I can't imagine how they would do that. But the people here are really cool, very competent, very tricky. The same guy that does CSS tricks, Chris Collier, absolutely fabulous guy, was the originator of CodePen. And so it's very friendly, very developer, designer friendly, and they just go out of their way to help you and to give you a break and to, provide you with the kind of stuff that the designers and developers really want to use and everything. So, it's a really nice place. And like I say, you can get other people's code too. So that's pretty cool. All right. So I'll be talking about that. What else? So I think that's about it for now, just in terms of where we're at. Like I say, I'm going to try to keep to our Thursday schedule. I'm not going to give you 5 hours of video content. No, I don't think so. Man, it's, doing an hour of this, when I have to concentrate on actual code is really wipes me out, and and I have to go back over stuff, and so it's a concentrated work. So I don't, Plus when we're in class, we don't really have to go 5 hours anyway of real work. So this content will be boiled down. I'm thinking maybe I give maybe maybe like, I don't know. I may have to break it up. I'm not sure how long the video can be. There may be some restrictions as to the size because the videos get pretty big in terms of file weight, but YouTube and WordPress are pretty strong. So, but again, I'm not sure. I may have to break it up. Might not be a bad idea to have like maybe two 1-hour videos, something like that, each week, broken up. But again, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. And then you guys can send me your feedback and ideas also, and we'll take that into consideration. All right, so I think that is just about all I have to say right now. I hope you guys are doing well, staying sane. I've been hunkered down for quite some time. I've gone to the store twice, I think, but I go late at night. I've been going to Walgreens to get my food, so I stay away from the big food stores. I go to Walgreens like at midnight when there's like 2 people in the store, and I just grab my staples, which are Diet 7-Up and Fritos, corn chips, and if I have enough Fritos and enough Diet 7-Up, I could probably make it over the next couple weeks. So I'm in pretty good shape. I actually do order from Amazon. I've been ordering from from Amazon Whole Foods. I've been doing that for the last couple months because I'm just kind of lazy, and the prices are really pretty good, and their service has been great. I can get stuff sometimes the same day back, in the pre-pandemic era. The last order that I put in took about, I can't remember exactly now. I think it took about a week before it finally got to me. So that was I was disappointed, but of course, to be expected because a lot of people are doing that. I think what I might do is try to put another order in now. I don't really need much, but if it's going to take a week or more, might as well put an order in now and see what happens. I also go to this food market on Dempster often, what is it called? I'm not exactly sure what the name of it is. It's just past Crawford on Dempster. Maybe some of you guys know it. It's a sort of a European-oriented food mart. And from what I understand, they are doing curbside service. So I think if you probably go up to their website and place an order, I guess. I always just go over there, but I've heard on the internet that they are putting orders together for people and putting them right outside the door on the curb, and people just come and pick them up. I presume you'd have to pay over the web in order to get the food first. But anyway, hopefully you guys have found a way to survive. Even have toilet paper. Holy cow. I found out that the Walgreens on Crawford and Dempster apparently gets a toilet paper shipment every Wednesday. So keep that under your hat. But if you hit the Walgreens early each Wednesday, you might get lucky and get toilet paper. So I've got some extra, but I'm not parting with it. You know, you have to pay me a lot. I'm charging gouged prices for my toilet paper rolls. All right, so that's about it. And hopefully I'm going to go and put this up on YouTube and then get the link from YouTube and put that link into our webpage. So hopefully it will all work. All right, talk to you guys later.